Okay, so as you can see, I've got one eye lovely, perfectly done, and this eye is completely empty. So we're going to start off by priming the eye with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Original. This is a base for when I personally do any makeup. So I'm going to put that all over my lid. Okay, I'm going to start off this cut crease with the Naked Urban Decay Smoky palette. I'm going to start off by using a really light shade. I'm going to be building colours as we're going along. So this shade is one of two transition shades. The first colour I'm going to use is this colour here called 13. And I'm going to start off by putting that all over my lid. I find this step is essential because when you go in to do the cut crease, if you go in and use a dark colour, it's not going to blend at all. It's going to be a big mess. Okay, so the second transition colour that I'm going to use is the one next to that, called Combust. And now I'm going to start focusing that into my crease area. So I have hooded eyes, lovely piece of hoodie skin over the top of your eyelid, so it's a little bit more difficult to find your cut crease. So for this, I look up a little bit and I basically put this colour Combust just below my brow bone. And then once I've found it, I then just keep on building that colour up. Okay, so the third colour I'm going to use for this transition is called Bitter. I'm going to use a brush that came with this palette, and I'm going to pack some of that bitter just on top of the transition shade Combust and the other one that we just used. So I'm just going to start by defining my crease. Now, what I tend to do is I push the brush into my socket area here, and then I basically use windscreen wiper motions just to start getting that shape defined. And then I just bring it out very slightly because I'll go in and clean that up later. And you don't want to go too high onto your brow bone because I'm going to use a highlighter to define that later. So you just start to create that look with this first light colour. You can use any colour, but obviously for this look I've used a nice warm colour, and it really does work. Okay, the next colour I'm going to use is Delete, so it's a darker brown shade, and I'm going to start using that colour to define the cut crease that we're going to clean up later. So with any kind of fluffy blending brush, I'm just going to start working that from the corner, so going around in circular motions, and then I'm going to be pushing that into my eye socket and bringing it backwards and forwards in windscreen wiper motions again to really help to carry that colour across and onto the bitter. And you basically just have to work it to your eye shape. So obviously I concentrate it more on the hooded area so I can get that into my eye. Once you have a bit of shape, I'm going to go back in with that bitter to warm it up because it's looking a little bit dark. So on top of that Delete, I'm going to put that bitter to just warm that line that I've just created. I'm going to go back in with the Naked Urban Decay Smoky palette and highlight my brow bone now. Just going to use a stubby brush to do this. I go in with these two colours here called High and Dirty Sweet. And what I find this does is it really helps to add to that gradient effect. From doing that, we've actually created a bit of a harsh line. So going to go back in with that bitter and just clean that line up slightly, just to soften it and to blend it together. Okay, and this is where the cut crease now begins to take shape. I'm going to use this Real Techniques detailer brush, and you can use any concealer, so I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Age Rewind concealer here. And basically this is how we now get to define that cut crease. I do sometimes use a white Kohl pencil, but today I'm going to go in with some concealer because I've used quite a dark colour. So I start off by putting some of that concealer onto my lid to take off the excess, and then I bring it into the corner here. And then with the corner of the side of the brush, I start to define where I want the crease line to begin. And I find it easier to look up because, again, my hooded eyes just take over the whole world. And then just bring it out to the side, and you can start to see the shape appearing now on my eyes. Just cover the whole lid with concealer as well, because we're going to be going in with a colour, and it also helps as a primer. And you can see now we've got that lovely shape just starting to appear just here. I'm going to go in with this really gorgeous colour here called Harlot. I'm going to basically pack that all onto my lid area. I think it's easier to use a lighter shade because it really helps to define that crease and really make it stand out. Okay, so once I've packed that onto my lid, I'm now going to use those two colours again that I used for my brow bone, and I'm going to put them into the corner of my eye just to give it a lovely shimmer look. That's basically the base of how to create the cut crease. Going to go in with Maybelline's Matte Ink Satin Eyeliner to create that lovely wing just like I have on the other eye. Alrighty, I got on the eyeliner. Now I'm going to smoke the bottom of my eye with this really gorgeous colour from the Vice palette, and this one is called, this one here is called Underhand. Then I'm going to line my waterline with a Rimmel Black Soft Kohl pencil. Okay, so I've done all of those steps now. So now it's time to put on some false eyelashes, some mascara, and I'll come back in a second with those bad boys on. That's the end of the cut crease tutorial, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm just going to come a bit closer to you so you can see what I've done today. So you can see the cut crease there that I've created, and the other eye there as well. Basically used a transition shade. I used one of two transition shades, the colour 13, which was a white shade. Then I went in with a Combust to give that more of a defined crease, to start building that crease. Then I went in with Bitter to start really getting that crease line defined and making sure we could start to see a bit of a line. Then I went in with a Delete, the darker brown shade, to really start getting that crease completely defined. Then we cleaned up with some concealer and any old detailer brush, and then I packed on this lovely purple colour here called Harlot, and this just, I think, really, you can see, I can walk around like this. Hey everyone, can you see my cut crease? Can ya? Can ya? So yeah, that's basically what I created today for you guys. I really hope this tutorial gave you a little bit more of an insight into how to create a cut crease. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And also, guys, if you want to, then subscribe to my channel. It's much appreciated for your support. And also follow me on Instagram, guys. Thank you so much for watching today, and I can't wait to see you all soon. See you later. Bye.